Hello YouTube world, welcome back to my workshop. I was recently given this beautiful piece of spalted wood. I'm not sure if that's beech or birch. The trouble is, odd piece like that, if I turn that on its own, really all I could do was turn that into something like a vase. I was watching a video by Mike Colton just recently. You want to check out his channel, very good wood turner. He has some really original stuff on there, and he did a really nice glue up. He had I think it was sycamore, some other dark woods. Very nice bowl he turned. He did it as a giveaway, and to be honest I wouldn't have minded winning that. It was very nice. So I thought I would do exactly the same with that. I'll cut that, I'll cut the bark off of there, put that on the bandsaw, cut it straight down there, square it up. And the other wood I'm going to use with it is some red cedar. I'm pretty sure that's red cedar. Just some beautiful grain running down through there. I'll use some of that, and I've got some of this. Now I think, looking at that end grain, I think it's oak, but it doesn't feel heavy enough for oak. But whatever it is, it's going to be a very nice contrast. So, the first thing I'm going to do, I'll take that over on the bandsaw. I will cut the birch stroke beech and just square that up, and then I'll cut some of the other wood and just sandwich it in between. As you can see, there's some beautiful spalting running down through there. I just start building this out in layers, hit that way now. So what I'll do is I'll cut that one first to that length. That's some absolutely beautiful piece of wood. Okay, so I found that if I rip these boards straight down the middle, I was only about 5mm shorter than the piece of beech stroke birch, which was ideal, saved me wasting a lot of wood. So what I'm going to do now is I've got hold of this piece. I remember actually somebody giving me this piece of wood, and he told me that it was green oak, and I'm not quite sure what the difference is. I don't know, it's green as in not seasoned, I don't know. But anyway, the first thing I did with this piece of oak was I cut it to the same length as my other pieces of wood, and then, because ideally what I wanted to end up with is a square, so that all my glued up pieces would be exactly the same width as the length, which was 40mm pieces of oak I needed now. So I set my fence, I ripped fence to 40mm and just went through and cut off both pieces of oak. So that's all ready now, all cut to size, and we're all ready for a glue up. I did find later on when I was turning the bowl, some of my joins weren't very good. And when I went back and checked, I actually found out that my bandsaw table was tilted slightly, once sat right down on the rubber stop, so it caused me to cut slightly triangular pieces of wood. It was certainly angled, and I think that was the main reason why I ended up with such bad joins. But a bit of super glue on there, nothing we can't overcome. So as you see, just going through, just gluing up. I do like to glue both sides, and when I put them together I just like to rub them together. It just gets all the air out of the join, and I find you get a much better join with this glue. So really it's just a matter of working my way through. putting the glue on, spreading it around with a brush. And getting it all ready for clamping together. Well, that's the last piece glued. I'm just putting down some paper just to save my bench because I know that glue's going to be leaking all over the place. I think that's the worst thing when you glue that. The glue acts like a lubricant and your wood starts sliding about everywhere. So what I do is just lightly clamp it together, and then I use the guide rail of the clamp just to make sure everything's nice and flat on the bottom. Just pull it all back together. You see that glue's everywhere already. So I'm going to glue that up, leave it overnight, and come back tomorrow. So this is a jig that I made for turning my bowl blanks. I've made that L shape. That slides up and down on that slot. I have a hole in there. I put a steel pin in there, and that is exactly the same size hole I need for my worm screw drive. So what I'll do is drop that onto there. And just move that up until the edge of that blank is touching the blade. Just tighten everything down. Start the bandsaw up. And that gives me a perfect circle every time. And I'm making that straight on the screwdriver worm drive in my chuck. So that's all set up for the screw chuck and the lathe. First thing I want to do, I'll just turn this. This is going to be the bottom of the bowl, so I need to turn it away and put a foot on there. Got my chisel nicely sharpened. Pretty much there. So I just need to turn the tenon on there. And I'm going to use my big jaws for that one. So what I'm going to do now is put a small recess in there for my medium set of jaws. My skew chisel, give me a nice sharp edge. What I can do now is start to shape the actual bowl. So the bowl's all set up now, all ready to go. I've got the recess in the bottom for my medium sized jaws to go into, and I just need to shape the bowl. Just to marrow some push cuts up the side just to give me the classic bowl shape. And what I always like to do on the bottom of my bowls is curve in. You'll see it's harder to describe than what it is to see. You'll see in a minute when I get there. But what I like to do is curve the bottom of the bowl right in underneath, and then just give it a small foot to sit on. And it does, when you see it sat down on a sideboard or a table, it almost looks like the bowl's just floating up off the air rather than just sort of lumped down on the side. So here I'm just shaping the bottom bowl now, you can see what I mean, where I'm just taking it away so it just curves right in underneath the bowl. Just defining the foot there. And giving it that lovely shape. And you see the lovely sporting coming through there. Really does look nice. So I just really need now sharpen up my chisel, give that a couple of clean up cuts through there, and that pretty much is ready to go for the outside. Right, that's all sanded down. I have to say that oak and that cedar has sanded up really well. I'm quite pleased with that as well. Right, let's get some sanded sealer on there. Beautiful grain in there. Beautiful sporting all coming out of there. That's got to be the prettiest grain in there. If I've got all that running right the way through the bottom of that bowl, that should look very pretty in there. High gloss wax. Although I don't think we're going to get that oak to polish up much more than that on that cedar. It's beautiful. The buff. That's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Right, let's turn that around now. Hollow it out, centre in there for a while, just to give it add a bit of support. Now I'm continuing to hollow this bowl. I just need to clean up the rim, just get all the wood down to the same size. I do enjoy hollowing bowls. I think there's something very therapeutic about this. I think I said in one of my previous videos, when I first started, it used to take me about 2 weeks to hollow a bowl. Be scratching about at it for ages. The chisel I'm using here is one I bought from Axminster. It's a 3/8 gauge and it was so very different from my previous favourite one, and it took me a long time to get used to using this, but once I did, I think it's fantastic for hollowing the bowls simply because it is so long. You've got such long reach and you get right into the bottom of the bowl with it. It's a lovely chisel to use. I've got a long grind on there, which means I can run with the bevel right to the very bottom of the bowl. As I say, very nice chisel to use. That's pretty good, quite pleased with that. Just going to go with my ball nose scraper because I just want a nicer, you've got a sharp edge when you go in there. Not sharp, but it's quite a sharp transition between the side and the bottom. I'm just going to go with my ball nose scraper. That's really nice now. It's got a really tactile feel to that. Okay, what's left for me to do now is just give that a sanding, and I'll get back to you once I've done that. So it's all sanded down to 400. I'll just say that has come up really nice. A little bit of sand seal in there. That fantastic grain in there. Those strips of cedar coming down through there really frame that as well. There's some wax. Really, you see the shine in the bottom of that bowl. Red cedar and that oak does polish up very good. Right, that's it. It's all done. Well, there you go, YouTube world. All done. I have to say, I'm very pleased with that. As I said at the beginning, I had this piece of spalted. I'm not sure what it is. I don't recognise a bark on it at all. It's not. It doesn't look like beech or birch, to be honest. Or the inside the spalting does. So I'm not sure what it is. Whatever it is, I think you'll agree that is quite a stunning piece of wood running through there. It's beautiful. Never so pleased with that. I've had that piece of wood for quite a while, sat in my wood store. Wasn't quite sure what to do with it. So thank you to Mike for the inspiration to do it, because after all, that's what YouTube's all about, sharing of ideas. So thank you very much for watching the video. I've been Steve Howe, and I've had a really nice day down in my workshop. So you take care of yourself, and I'll see you all again next week. Bye bye.